Liebe Festgemeinde, hey! Hello and welcome to 10 tips for Backpack Hero. The following tips are mostly general, but I am planning tip videos for the various heroines and heroes. But without further ado, let's get started with the tips. The order in which we use, arrange or draw items plays a major role in Backpack Hero. However, you can also make your life a lot easier if you plan the exact order in which you visit different events on the map. The shortest route is simply not always the best. For example, a chest can sometimes wait if we can collect enough experience for the next level up through an event or a battle. This way, we have to leave fewer items behind that we could use or sell for a profit. In the same way, it's always worth taking a look in stores and forges before you're disappointed to find out later that you don't have the necessary change for the item or upgrade you want. It also always makes sense to look at which events are hidden behind the question marks and find out whether and what kind of items are required or made available there. Speaking of events, that brings me to the next tip. In contrast to many similar games, events at Backpack Hero can be visited without any risk. If we're not interested in the event, we simply move on. If we are, we can take a look at what exactly there is to get. What items can you get from gambling? What does the capybara want to trade? What upgrades does the blacksmith offer? So it's always worth having a look. Actually, it should be obvious. We can rotate our items by right-clicking and thus have new options for stuffing everything into our backpack. It can sometimes be worth rotating the entire backpack, meaning the items in it, of course. Especially if we have items that specifically affect rows or columns, or items that are heavy or floating and are therefore a little more difficult to place. So, don't get your head spinning. While we're on the subject, our backpack is the central element of the whole game, but we often tend to neglect it when planning our build. In addition to the when of leveling, which we have already discussed, the how also plays an important role. Whether long, wide, square, with terraces and so on. There are many options when putting together the backpack. In my opinion, a height of 4 squares is great for armor. A very long backpack for bows and arrows, and small terraces can make the use of floating and heavy items much easier. Without items, you actually only have 2 different resources in Backpack Hero: energy and space in your backpack. If you include items, however, there are many more ways to achieve certain effects. These include passives, which are usually activated at the start of the turn, items that are used with energy or mana, effects that are triggered indirectly, for example when mana flows through them, and even our gold. If you have more weapons than you can use, you're wasting valuable space in your backpack. And the same applies to mana, of course. So don't waste any resources. You could regret it in the next boss fight. With this simple trick, you will always be informed about my newest videos. Subscribe to the channel and activate the bell. Did that work? Then please leave a like and a comment. But jokes aside, let's get back to the tips. A scenario familiar to many beginners in Backpack Hero. Everything was fine until the last fight, and then suddenly the next boss completely smashes your face in. This is often simply because you don't scale or don't scale well enough. While opponent buffs, summons adds, and simply hurts more and more, neither your own damage nor your own defense increases. Ultimately, it is always a good idea to think about how these values can be increased quickly, even during a fight. Rage, haste, and, of course, lots of energy are simple household remedies. But do you need everything at the same time?
Random bullshit, go!
The term Jack of all trades, master of none describes a person who can do a bit of everything but is not really good at anything. In Backpack Hero, legendary items often tempt you to take some things with you that don't actually fit your build and can't be sold in the short term. Generally speaking, specialization is the key to a successful run in most cases. You don't have to limit yourself to a single source of damage, but if you try to do everything, you run the risk of falling flat on your face. Incidentally, the game also helps us with this. Let's be honest, who is really free from prejudice? Backpack Hero certainly isn't. I call these prejudices item bias. The game assigns the items in our backpack to certain categories and tends to offer the player items that match these categories. For example, if you have several cleavers in your backpack, you will be offered more of them. If you don't have any with you, it sometimes feels as if they have been removed from the game. So, if you're looking for something specific, take items with a certain functionality with you. You can find a link to the categories in the description below.
It's bad. Okay.
You probably know the situation. You are offered an item with a really nice effect, but it also has a downside. And suddenly you don't want to take it anymore. But bad things are not always really bad. With the right items, the effect can easily be negated, or these negative effects may even be a huge advantage in combination with the right items. Combine the egg timer with red hoodie, the top hat, and regeneration or healing, and suddenly you have an almost endless source of money and increase your maximum health points with every fight. And all this without having to drop your guard. So, I hope these tips help you. Oh my god, what is that? You can already use items with alternate use in the loot screen after the battle, even if they are part of this loot. This means that you can also use dice that are offered to you if you don't like your loot. The only disadvantage is that you can then take one less item with you. Well, that's it for today. I hope these tips help you. Please let me know in the comments. Well, liebe Festgemeinde, I wish you the best until the next time. Take care. Bye.